Alright, welcome back my friends. Open hours. One of ours has fallen. We're going to try and fix it today. Electrical can be fun if you don't shock yourself. Generally you don't plug something in when you're working on it. Exhibit A. This is our poor victim right here. Basically, when it's plugged in, there's no power. And we need power to come out of it. Let's plug it in quick and see if it's going to blow anything out. I don't think anything's touched. Oh, you know what? I did have it apart one time, a long time ago, just to see what was in it. And I don't know that I put it back together safely. But we need this, so we're going to attempt to fix it today and see if we can figure out the problem with the help of a multimeter and whatever else we need. Hopefully we don't have to get into any soldering. We can get a little bit better camera angle there, even though that camera looks like absolute dog squeeze. So let's open this up. I'm fairly certain once we open it up, we'll plug it in to test that there's no power going to anything. I don't recall. I think I got back together in a hurry. Just wanted to make sure all the connections were on, and they should have been connected, but if anything is arcing out inside, I don't want to blow a breaker while we're live streaming. That'll definitely kill the live stream, I'm sure. Alright, so we've got that there. Let's open this other side. Get the few screws out of here. Kitty, where are you? Slacking. It's pretty neat too how this actual box breaks down. It's kind of like more of a industrial type thing, I would say, or just well built that you can crack it apart and repair something inside of it. It seems to be very repairable. So there's one side, and then the back actually comes right off like that. And then we have this here, so it doesn't appear that anything is arcing out. Go to there, that one goes there, and that goes there. I don't see anywhere else that it could be going wrong. Our ground is connected. Let's go ahead and try and plug this in. We're going to see that, we'll do it like that. This switch did light up, so let's plug it in and see that nothing is going to smoke, hopefully, or spark. Well, if we touch that, it will. Let's go this route. Alright, we'll set it there. And no sparks, no nothing. And you can see when we switch it, we have no light on the switch. And let's try and set this so nothing connects. How can we show power on this thing? Simple. Let's grab a cell phone and a charger. this should start charging. If we plug in, watch it work. Alright, so we plug in and the phone doesn't light up. We'll light it up on its own with the unlock button. It is not charging, as you can see there. So we have no power. We'll even go one further now that we know we have no power that way. Let's go ahead and we're going to check power. Where can we check it? We will check the power at this switch. We got to be careful because we do have power at least coming in the cable. I would think that if the cable's broke, we will check that. We'll do some continuity testing, but right now I want to see if there's any voltage coming in, making it to the switch. That's the main point of focus for the time being. Can we get any power at the switch? If not, can we get it at the breaker? It does have its own little built-in circuit breaker here, and that is not tripped. If it was tripped, I believe you could press it, and that's kind of how it's built. But we don't know yet. We shall find out. So let's flip over to this cam here. I'll move the phone out of the way. Can we see? Yes, we can see the multimeter. And we do have continuity. So right now, I'm going to touch, where will we touch? So we'll touch, we have two, let's look at this here for a moment. We have two, the way this is wired up. Should I point the stuff here? Alright, let's unplug it. Unplug it, we'll grab a piece of paper and run over this quick. We'll go with the kind of sort of, this is what we got going on. Alright, so we have three different colors. We've got black, red, and blue. That'll work. Alright, we're going to call our blue. Our blue is ground. And this isn't like technical writing with and then we have our hot wire. And then I think our common wire. That may be improper terminology, but we'll say common. You have the three wires coming in. Okay, so now what else can we do here? We'll get this pen. We have our little circuit breaker, and then we also have our rocker switch, and then we have our motherboard, and we got breaker, and we got a switch. Okay, hopefully that can all be seen fairly easy. Alright, let me map out what's going on here. Where's my ground? Which is here. Comes in, gets grounded somewhere to the chassis of the device, and then it runs over to the motherboard. Fairly simple on that circuit. Now we have our other wire coming in, okay, we'll make black, and so these two, the hot and the common, could be wrong. We'll make the red right here is going to be our white wire in there. So it comes in off of, the red comes in hits the switch. Actually, no, it doesn't hit the switch. It comes in. It comes into the motherboard, and then from the motherboard, it runs to the switch. So we're going to ignore this. That was my mistake there. Alright, so our white wire comes in to the motherboard, from the motherboard over to the switch. That's the proper path for that one. Then our black comes in to the breaker, back out of the circuit breaker, down to the switch, and then it comes back out of the switch to the motherboard itself. So that's how that's wired up. We're going to take and check to see if we have continuity between the two poles of the switch, the red and the black. I'm not real good at explaining this. I know what I'm kind of know what I'm doing with it, but I'm not super good at explaining it. With it unplugged, we're going to check continuity on the switch to see if we have a connection. And we should. When that switch, here, I'll show you here. When you have a switch, okay, and let's connect to one side and then the other pole, you have a connection. When you switch it off, it should not stay connected. Actually, let's do something slightly different. That way I don't have to hold so many things. We use some of these fancy multimeter ends that I never use because we can plug in those connectors, and then we can also plug in these. We can piggyback right off of them. But we got to watch we're not arcing stuff out when we're not paying attention, which is very possible. We'll stuff that down there. We'll send our other black one this way. And now we have two things that we don't have to rely on. So let's connect our black to one pole, the red to the opposite pole, and we have no continuity. When we flip the switch, we do. You should be able to hear it. Okay, so there's what we're looking for on one. We can check the breaker. Two, we can check the switch. So let's go ahead and check that. Grab a set of pliers. Where do we start, people? Should we start with, did I not share that? Or did I click it again? I must have clicked it again. Oh well, if I didn't share it, no big deal. Alright, so first, let's go with the breaker. We want to check the circuit breaker here. Give me a moment. We got a phone call coming in. Well, it's broken now. You don't trip on what you're working on. Our records show. Forget your records. They're wrong. Your records are wrong, people. You're just harassing me. You're harassing me. What am I going to do with my life? I don't need that in my life right now. Help me, people. Help me. Get me out of here. Break me out. Alright, so provided me tripping on it didn't ruin it. I don't think it did. It's pretty robust. Very solidly built. Let's go ahead. We'll disconnect our ground. And then also we'll disconnect our white from the motherboard. So we're only working on one piece of this temporarily. Okay, what we want to test here is the circuit breaker part of it. We'll go with that first. Why not? We'll see if we can determine the problem. Did it go bad? Did the switch go bad? Is it the electronics in the box? We don't know yet, but let's find out together. Okay, so here's our circuit breaker. We've got our multimeter on. Let's go ahead and clip on. Okay, just to show you, we still do indeed have continuity. Okay, so there's our one. It's open. It's closed. Audible beep. Let's go ahead and clip on to alright, and if we trigger it, it's not popping it, so it's going to work until it would actually throw it, and it would need reset. That's how that will work. So we know that's good. Let's go ahead and stick that back together. Moving on. Let's go for our switch. This should be fairly simple. Let's try the same way we did with wherever our other little rocker switch is. Let's clip on where the white wire would go, and then where one of the black wires would go. Where are you? There you are. Too many wires I'm working with here. And we'll clip on there. So, same way we have continuity there. Let's check it here on this switch. Okay, so we're clipped on to one side. And continuity doesn't much matter as far as red and black are concerned. I mean, it could, but in this case it doesn't. I don't think it actually ever does. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's get this clipped on there and there. With those clipped on, we will throw the switch. Okay. Throwing the switch. With those clipped on, we have no continuity. Let's take our red probe and connect to our black. So continuity does work when there's a signal getting all the way through, and there's not from the white wire to the black wire side. Now, there's two black wires coming off this. Let's clip on to the first one and check that. Maybe there's something, maybe the switch works that way. Maybe that's when you throw the switch, that's the leg it's activating. So no continuity whatsoever, because this here runs to this center one. So no continuity there. Alright. Well, right there, I would say, is part of our problem. Is the switch. Can we get this working is the other question. Let's go ahead and unplug our power. We're going to leave that on. We know that needs to go to one of the legs on our new switch that we will attempt to use. I don't know if they're the same rating. We'll have to check. They should be close. And if they are, we'll make a run for it. We'll see if we can get our little surge protector. Basically, it's an isobar. It's isolated at different decibels. And so you got a filter bank, isolated filter bank 1 and 2, first level 50, second level 75. Protection at 1.0 megahertz, noise filter and surge suppressor. So, nice little box. We're going to go ahead and hopefully get it repaired. So let's find out what we can do. I don't know that this switch is wired up the same way. Meaning, if we put one of the legs on white and then the other two on black, that it's going to work and light this switch up. We'll go ahead and try. If it pops in our face, then we're going to have to go get one of these and continue this at another time. But for now, let's we'll just assemble it out of the box. So we know we need a black one going to it, and one white one going to it also. We're missing stuff here. We also need two blacks going to our circuit breaker. So how is this going to work? We'll do it like that. And then we will come off of the other side of our circuit breaker here and go to the one side of our switch. And we still need to get our ground connected. That is also important. Ground is usually important. If you're trying to do anything with audio or video on a computer and you have noise that you can't quite find in your system, you can buy ground loop isolators, or you can make sure that your outlet you're using is indeed properly grounded, and you'll be good to go. So this wire here needs to connect without arcing out off of anything else to this little circuit board. I don't want to call it a logic board. There's no logic to it. It's just a circuit board. So let's flex some of our wires to attempt to keep this out of our way. We have that and that. We don't want them touching. That would not be beneficial to what we're attempting here. And then we have this wire here. You know what? Let's attempt that. And if we can get this to spin and keep the T part away from up here, that should let it work. What I'm going to do to try and be a little safer about it, we're going to grab this little piece of rubber that I have and separate all three of these legs from actually touching each other. I'm going to put it between the two and then between the third one. So there is absolutely no way either of these three legs are going to touch. Will it work? I don't know. Will it pop that switch? Possibly. I know I don't want anything arcing out against the chassis, and I also don't want the switch. Don't want anything coming disconnected right now or anything else happening. Let's try and get this switch to turn on. I guess that's goal number one. Let's see if we can get the switch to light up and get power to this just with some testing here. We're going to plug it in, but we're not going to be holding it when we plug it in, just because I hate electricity. I hate getting zapped. Is it going to pop in our face? We don't know. It might. Look away, children. Okay, so no popping yet. We have our switch here that we can attempt to trigger. It is not lit up yet, as of yet. Let's try and not connect any. Or no, it is lit up. So we may indeed have power. Let's throw the switch. Let me check my circuitry here. It looks to be okay. We did pop something whenever it switched over. So it didn't like that. Not one bit. Now, was that off or on? Alright, we're going to unplug it. Did you see the lights flicker and go out for a second there? So there may be another actual problem in here that caused the switch, this other switch, to go bad. So let's find out if that comes off of there. That should probably go to that side. Or we have the switch backwards. Let's flip it around and see. I still think there may be another problem internally in this box, so that could be an issue too. But I do know I want the switch to be lit up when it is the other way, so we're going to flip all these legs around. Even though these two are spaced further apart, you would think those are the ones that... Hold on a minute here. When that flips that way, that would send power through, and that may power it. Let's try that. We'll try it that way. I'll just switch to this leg, because I don't know if these legs are connected internally on the switch. Some switches they are, some they're not. I'm on these kind, and I don't need the two white ones to be connected. What I need is the two black ones, in a sense, to be connected when it switches, and I don't think this switch is laid out the same as this one, so we may be stuck with getting one of these. Before we plug it in, we're going to go ahead and keep these separated again with our little rubber strip here. Not real convincing, but here we go. We're going to switch it that way to turn it off, and if it pops anything, then we know. No good. Alright, switch did not light up. Nothing popped. Let's try and turn it on and see if we dim our lights again here. Did it kill the stream? No, it did not. Okay, so we're good. Let's throw our switch. But we have no light, and that's the thing. So I think what we're going to have to do is connect the two white legs with a wire here, because I don't think they're connected. So the power coming in, the power coming in is not, because the power goes into the circuit breaker, okay, so from our wire into our circuit breaker, back out of our circuit breaker into this side of the switch. And we're going to verify right now if there's connection. I don't think there is. So I think what we need to do is connect this side of the white wire to this other side where the actual connector is plugged in. And I think that will do what we need it to. We need the black ones to be separate so when it's switched off, but we need the white one to be on the same leg. These two are separate from the two on the other side. So the two legs that you can see here, this one with nothing plugged in, and this leg here that the black wire from the circuit breaker is plugged into, they're connected together, but they're separate from the two on the opposite side of the switch. We need the two black ones to remain separate to transfer our power through. But we also need this black here and this white to also see each other for the switch to work properly because of our three leg here. So I think we could connect those two unless we can just flip the switch around and the other side's connected. We're going to disconnect our power, disconnect our switch, and test with our multimeter, see what is and isn't connected on it. So there goes our power. Was that switch lit up? No, it wasn't. Okay, so there's our power. Let's go ahead and get those off of there. Get those two off of these legs. And let's find out what is and isn't connected. Maybe I just popped this switch when that happened and we dimmed the lights for that brief second. Hey, it could happen. I've done dumber stuff. Okay, so let's connect our switch to check our continuity. We're back on continuity. We have no continuity. Now we have continuity. Now, let's check here. Okay, so these two legs here and here, these two are not connected side to side. But let's see if these ones are connected on this side. I don't believe they are either. And can we connect one? We should be able to. Definitely not connected. Definitely not connected and should be. Okay. So here's how we're going to do this. And this is going to be our white side. Real quick, we're going to connect these two legs. Yeah, so neither leg is connected side to side this way, only this way when the switch is on. When the switch is off, it doesn't let the side to side this way connect either. Nope, nothing. Okay, so our proposed solution for this, we're going to connect the wire from side to side on it. And if it fails, we're going to go get ourselves a very nice switch that has the 3 legs we need instead of the 2. Let's get our soldering station here. We're not going to use hot air, so don't worry about that. We're not going to even need to solder for very long. Turn it on, soldering iron, and spin the temp up. Ooh, you know what I did? Okay, so I did pop the breaker on that. I'm glad nothing was plugged into it. Imagine that. Imagine that. I killed my power strip bar. We popped the breaker on it. Okay. Well, at least we popped the breaker on something. We're going to connect these 2 legs side to side. These ones don't really need connected side to side. They need to be separate. Let's do it. Can we make this work? Are we going down the road of disaster right now? Or are we about to fix something? Okay, we need a kind of thick wire. A thicker wire. I don't know about that. Definitely not thick enough there. Not thick enough, not thick enough. Now dang it, I have some wires that will do this job. I just don't know where they are. Let's look. Not it. Not it. Are you in here, wire? And finally, not it. Not it. Well, we'll make it look good. Let's grab our cutters and go source a wire from a dead power supply. My friend, what happened to you? Are you dead? You don't look dead. I suppose you could be dead. You just don't look dead to me. Alright, there's our wire. Will that be enough? Let's find out. Alright, back to the station. Look at this mess we've made so far. He wants to burn some stuff down, trying to... Or pop another breaker. That could very well be the case, too. If there is indeed anything else wrong other than the switch, and that's what burnt the switch out, we're about to find that out. Let's get this ball and run with it, right? twist our wire ends. Hold it there, and let's tin the ends, and then we'll put it on the switch and see if it's going to work. Yeah, we're up at 480. It's just not liking the heat, or the wire, I guess. There it goes. Okay. Now, where did our little switch friend go? You are here. Okay, like I said, we are, because we're plugging 3 things into these legs, 1, 2, and then 3, I'm going to leave the two black ones, unless, let me think about this. That other black seems unswitched. I would love to know how this switch works internally. When you, oh, so it has a 56K resistor built into it. Is that the case? Does that really have that built in? Well, we might cause a fire. Let's look for a moment before we do something exceedingly so far beyond stupid. Let's pop on over to our LCD and look up this switch. RA211C. On, none, off, single pole, single throw, illuminated, panel mount, red, LRA series. So single pole, single throw. And we have another single pole, single throw switch. And do we, 1, 2, 3, see, I don't understand switches and what the difference is. This is where I'm ill-equipped to understand. Alright, switch basics. What the? Double pole, double throw. And see, that's not what we want. And then you start getting into crazy, yeah. Alright, we're not going to master switches right now, temporarily. But this is a single pole, single throw switch that we have. It just has four poles versus 3. And I'm debating whether I should go get a one with 3 or just try and make the one with 4 work. Do we connect the black? No, we can't connect the black. The switch would always be on because the black is the separator. If we connect the white, it will do what it does. And it still would be switched off one way and on the other. Alright, let's find out. We throw the breaker, right? Let's have some fun. More or less, I'm curious right now. Can we do it this way? Is it possible? If not, we'll go get the right switch for the job. Tell me you can't see that. Of course you can't. I mean, this makes sense in my head, but I'm probably so massively underthinking what I'm about to do. But I don't think so. I think it honestly, I'm connecting two legs to make them one, which is essentially this 4-poled single pole, single throw switch. This might be a double pole, single throw, actually. And would joining the two legs of a double pole single throw switch, would that make it a single pole single throw? Probably not. Back over here. Essentially, that's the same type of switch we originally had. Let's find out. Single pole double throw. And what was our single pole single throw? Okay, so single pole single throw, single pole double throw, and that's not what we want at all. So that's not the same thing. We may run to the auto parts store, but let's continue on down this road of disaster and see how far we can take it. Okay, soldering iron, temp down, and let's set you up slightly out of the way for the time being. As soon as you cool, we'll cool you off with the water, I guess. Alright. Down from 480 to 220 and rapidly falling. We're going to go ahead and let it finish cooling off for the time being. Alright, so connecting the two legs here. I'm going to connect the white to this side and see if this works like I think it does with the multimeter now is the thing. Okay, so basically what I was looking at was if I'm connected to one of these sides for the black and I connect here, it's going to trigger when I rock the switch to the same position, and it does. Let's switch it off. And now what I didn't want to see over here was when I connect this, it have continuity already, because this here is soldered together and it doesn't. But when you do flip the switch, I just don't know what's going to happen between the having that hooked up. Will that cause some disturbance? Connect those two, that would always be continuity. Let's go the opposite way now. Which it shouldn't matter, not one bit, because we have it wired up. But say we hooked our white wire up to the side instead of our black one. By all rights, that actually, you know what's dumb? We need to determine the on-off position. We may be resoldering. Alright. We're learning this together, people. I'm trying to make a switch function the way I want instead of having to go get one. Okay, so our white wire comes in, and then this is here. It has no continuity. When the switch is flipped, there is continuity, whether it be there or there. None there. Oh no. Alright, you know what? That's even more confusing. So when I flip that, that completes the circuit. So essentially you could have a white, okay, look at this. Instead of having black wires on one side, white on the other, you could have a black wire and then a white wire. Because that's still going to complete that circuit. That's all I did there. So no, that won't work like I was thinking. That's 100% wrong. I think we need to go get a switch. So let's write down some specs. We're going to take a little adventure and go get a switch. And maybe I'll come back to do the second part of this. Let's look this up. On, none, off. Okay. somebody will have this. Let's get some handy scrap paper here and a pen. And we need single pole, single throw illuminated, single pole, single throw illuminated, on, none, off, on, none, off. Red, I don't care about the color or any of that. And what I do care about is the ratings on the actual switch, which is 16 amp AC or 10 amps at 250 volts AC, VAC. That's the deal. And does this thing have a resistor built in? It does have 56K on it, but I think in that 56K ohm resistor in it. Let's read some info about this thing. It's a one pole lighted rocker switch with a 125 volt neon lamp. It features on, none, off function. Red rocker clear actuator and black matte standard bezel. The curvature switch, blah blah blah. Okay, so it says nothing about that 56K. Alright friends, before we did some actual damage, we did pop the breaker on our power bar here for everything, but no harm done. It threw the switch on it. Instead of trying to make a switch do off, so it would be off, none, on. I think if we see, there these little wires connecting them. I think if we clip that wire, we solder wire, clip a wire. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's look this up. RL3 4T 12555. RL3 dash 4T12 4T125/55. Okay, and what is it? AliExpress, of course. Go back. I don't want this garbage. Yeah, this switch, from what I'm seeing here, does not have that same off, or on, what is it? On, none, off pattern. So, we're going to kill it here. We're going to go get a proper switch instead of trying to make one. Hey, I got it. I thought it might work without modifying it. I got the bad idea to modify it. We'll use this in another project. But I'm going to go get this switch. Do we come back with a part 2 if we find one of these? Sure, why not? And provided we can't find one of these uptown, we are going to have to order one online to fix our little ISOBAR. So at the end of the day, it's after 5. Open hours bled into after hours. If I find a switch, we'll come back and we'll attempt it. If I don't, consider it tomorrow. We'll do something tomorrow. Something fun. What are we left with? We got some more power stuff related. We check this beast out. I don't think we'll crack into this on the stream. I'm not going to show everybody me shocking the hell out of myself. We've got another Tripp Lite. What is this, a UPS? Battery surge and noise protected outlets. Surge and noise protected. Overload, check battery, and yeah, so it's like a uninterrupted power supply, kind of. Same brand as the ISOBAR. Maybe that's saying something, that Tripp Lite is bad, good. I don't know. We're not here to compare brands. Okay, so we mapped out the circuitry, learned how that was wired up to come in from your wall outlet through a breaker. You only need to feed the one power wire through, and then off of the breaker to the inactive side of the switch, which would be you have the on, none, off for the way this was laid out. So off of the breaker to the none side with the black wire, and then off of the on side out to the motherboard with the black wire, and then your white wire hits the off side of the switch. Sorry, did I say that wrong? Yes, I did. So the wire from the motherboard would hit the off side because it's going to connect it to on when flipped to on. And then there's that dummy in the middle that does nothing. It's just like a placeholder, a placemat, taking up space, sucking up valuable air. Wait, placemats don't breathe air. Are you kidding me? Get out of here with that. Anyhow, have a good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are, people. Thank you for watching. We're gonna go rub the switch and hopefully come back and get this done tonight. If not, we'll do something fun tomorrow, and we'll order a switch and do it when it gets back. I'm running uptown quick, so if I see you, I see you. If I don't, I don't. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Get your keyboard out. Leave some comments. Leave some comments down below. Subscribe, like, share. Do all the YouTube, social media friendly stuff out there. And I hope to see you soon. If not, tomorrow. Have a good evening, morning, good afternoon. One of those. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it.